Gervonta Tank Davis. Let Shakur Stevenson. Devin Haney know y'all ain't built like that, bro. The decision for Matchroom, Turkey, Shakur Stevenson, Jay Prince, Josh Dubin. The decision for him to fight Joe Cordina and put that fight on pay-per-view as a headline of a pay-per-view is getting us further and further away from a fight with Gervonta Tank Davis. And maybe that's what Shakur and this team want. Maybe they really don't want the smoke. But if they do want the smoke, and you a fan of that fighter, you a fan of that team, this Joe Cordina fight being the headline on pay-per-view should be alarming to you. We're going to talk about why in this video. Smash the like, sub to the channel, share the video, catch me live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. And I'm also live every Sunday morning with KC Boxing Network. Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. I ask that you join the channel as a member. Drop super chats and super thanks when we come by the live streams and the videos that we do. And hit me up if you want to debate. The email address is knockoutboxing86@yahoo.com. Let's get it cracking. No, look, bro. It is now confirmed, as I reported to you guys earlier. Excuse me. Then it looked like the shit changed, and that is that Shakur Stevenson, Joe Cordina, pay-per-view fight. But Turbiev and Bivol on the same card will not be part of the pay-per-view. So as a result, as an undercard fighter, as a co-main event, Shakur Stevenson, for all intents and purposes, is headlining a DAZN pay-per-view in his first fight with DAZN. The opponent is going to be Joe Cordina, right? And this decision takes us further and further and further away from seeing a potential fight with Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Tank Davis with one obvious caveat. Let's talk about why in this video. I've already expressed to you how signing the Matchroom puts a barrier on the fight. Shakur fans will have you believe that, hey, there's no barrier. Eddie would move out of the way for Shakur. Shakur is the one that put Eddie in the way. So if he didn't want Eddie in the way, the thing he would have to do is just not sign to him. You can't put a barrier in place and then say, oh, but I can get rid of the barrier in the first place. Well, why'd you put it there? So y'all already know how I feel about that. But I want to focus specifically on this pay-per-view fight with Shakur Stevenson and Joe Cordina and how it directly affects a potential showdown with Gervonta Tank Davis. And it comes down to two words: market value. That's what it comes down to, market value. Because here's the thing that we know about Shakur Stevenson, we know about Jay Prince, we know about Josh Dubin. They all have an inflated sense of what they feel like Shakur Stevenson deserves as it pertains to a purse, as it pertains to how people talk about him, how he's promoted, the amount of money that he makes. They have an inflated sense of self, meaning they think that he's worth more than what he is. And the reason that this Shakur Stevenson, Joe Cordina fight is going to hurt a Tank Davis fight is because Tank Davis and his teams don't play those types of games. They're not overpaying you. They're not about to have you act like you got some sort of leverage over them in negotiations. And Tank Davis is not going to do. I keep telling people this because I have sources close to that situation that tell me this shit all the time. And y'all think I just be talking, but what I be saying about these situations continues to come true over and over again. Tank Davis is not going to do what Errol Spence did. He's not going to go against the advice of Al Heyman. He's not going to go against the advice of his team and give in to a fighter's demands like Errol Spence did with Terrence Crawford to just give them what they want when his numbers in the business dictates that you pretty much take it or leave it because he your biggest fight. He your biggest offer. He your biggest bag. He gives you the most notoriety. He gives you the most legacy. All the things that obviously come with being one of the faces of boxing. The reason that hurt this pay-per-view with Joe Cordina is going to hurt that because Shakur and his team come across, in my opinion, as people that's not going to give a fuck if you flop or not. And make no mistake about it, $15 pay-per-view, fighting on DAZN, fighting in Saudi Arabia, fighting in the afternoon here in America, putting an American-based fighter as the headliner for a pay-per-view event in Saudi Arabia while it's 3 p.m. on a Saturday in the fall in America. Sorry, this is the time of year that college football and NFL football reign supreme. Reign supreme. If a sports fan is turning on the TV on Saturday afternoon in October, they're more than likely turning on a Saturday afternoon in October to watch their college football team. That's just how shit is here in America, bro. So that fight is destined to flop. But Shakur Stevenson is also being paid handsomely for that fight. He's also making a lot of money. And what do we know about fighters? They don't wanna take pay cuts. They don't want to go down, right? Devin Haney pulled out a Sandor Martin fight. Why? Because he felt like he was going backwards. They were paying him less than what he was getting to fight Ryan, what he got to fight Regis. So he felt like, I'm too good to go backwards. That belt can kiss my ass. I'm too good to go backwards. Put me in recess. We just saw the shit with Brian Norman Jr. ducking Jerron Boots Ennis. We got to take home 20 times more what we took home in order to fight Jerron Boots Ennis in our last fight. In our last fight, we took over a little over $100,000. In this fight, we want to take home at least $2 million. Fighters are trying to get all of this money and not realize what their true market value is. Shakur Stevenson is no different. He's not going to want to fight Joe Cordina for a certain amount of money, right? Fight Williams Zepeda for a certain amount of money and then potentially go to the table with Gervonta Tank Davis and be like, yeah, now Tank, for you, I'm willing to take less. I'm willing to take this. I'm willing to do that. He's not going to do that, bro. And he's going to have the same sense of power that he felt like that made him turn down $3 million fight deal, 5-fight deal from Top Rank. He's going to have the same type of ego shit going on that he had when he went behind Jamel Herring back to go to the WBO to get a bigger split. That's how he and his team operate. That's how he and his team move. And the reason that Joe Cordina puts us further away from the fight is because of how unrealistic and how crazy his team can be when it comes to shit like this. And as a result, it's going to make that fight hard to negotiate. I hope I'm wrong. But it just looks like Shakur Stevenson is doing what he can to move away from the Tank Davis fight. And his handlers are moving him away from the Tank Davis fight because they're not trying to build him. If you were getting ready for a Tank Davis fight, then you would be putting Shakur Stevenson in a position to be successful. You would tell Turkey, look, man, if you're going to put him on pay-per-view anyway, then just don't put him on the goddamn Beterbiev and Bivol card. Let him have his own day. Put him on pay-per-view during the nighttime in America. Let him fight in his home city. Bring the show to the Barclays Center if you have to. Bring it to New Jersey and the Prudential Center again. Let's have him do big numbers in front of his home audience. Let's put the pay-per-view on when people actually want to buy it. And let's put it at a price to where we can try to see if we can at least make some money off of it to show what he can bring to the table if we set him up for success. You don't build yourself into a Tank Davis fight by setting yourself up to be unsuccessful. And that's exactly what Shakur Stevenson is set up to be. Other than getting a really good purse, everything about this fight is set up to move him away from the Tank Davis fight. Number one, the performance. If you do anything good to Joe Cordina and you look great in the fight, you're supposed to. He just got knocked the fuck out of the smaller weight class. If you look bad in the fight, then the gap between you and Tank gets even wider. God forbid you lose. We know what that'll do, right? That kills the fight. Then the business of the fight. You on pay-per-view. We all know the shit gonna flop. How does flopping in a pay-per-view make the fight with Tank bigger? How does that put you in an advantageous position for a Tank Davis fight if you're a fight fan and want to see that fight? How does Joe Cordina and the fact, you can't call it a fact because it ain't happened yet, the high probability that this fight is gonna fucking flop with Joe Cordina, how do those things help Shakur Stevenson and get him closer to a Gervonta Tank Davis fight? And if that's the goal, why would they put him in that position? If what I'm saying is all false. Which leads me to the second part of this video. Are you so sure that Shakur Stevenson really wants to fight Gervonta Tank Davis? He moved away from him to go sign with Eddie Hearn after Tank and his team reached out to him. He signed to Eddie Hearn after telling Eddie Hearn, don't you go over there and try to make a Tank Davis fight. and signed to him anyway. He's being put on. He's allowing himself to have his fucking market value just shot to shit. You would allow that shit to happen in your career if you don't care and you just want to make sure that the money that they guaranteeing you is right, that you get into the bag. If you trying to build yourself up for a Tank Davis fight to make the fight as big as possible, you literally make none of the moves that Shakur Stevenson is making right now. That's just a fact of the matter. You don't go over to Matchroom, who can't get nobody a fucking fight. Devin Haney's still at Matchroom looking for them to get him a big fight. Andrade left Matchroom, never got a big fight. Jerron Boots Henderson, look at what's going on with him right now, right? And in some of those cases, it's not for a lack of trying, but Matchroom just don't get you big fights. So you go over there with their history of not getting you people big fights. Then you allow them to fuck you up and put you on the undercard. That's taking a step backwards. Then when they put you on the undercard, they make you the pay-per-view and put the only desirable fight on the card. I ain't gonna do the card like that. Fabio Worley and Frazier Clark is a good fight too. But the fight that everybody is looking forward to is the Beterbiev-Bivol fight. They put you on that card and then don't even allow you to play off of that by using that fight to highlight you. They separate you from them. They put Beterbiev and Bivol over here for free and make people pay $15 for you, hurting your market value, and they throw you across the goddamn ocean, where your own fans gonna have trouble watching you. You have no real opportunity to do any kind of live gate, get any kind of market value, generate any kind of revenue. They setting you up to fail. They setting you up to become a smaller name. They setting you up to where people are gonna wake up and it's gonna be legit. You know, people on the fence that was casual fans thinking about being diehard fans. They were like, oh shit, I ain't know Shakur fought yesterday. They legit set you up for that, bro. How does this get us closer to what we claim we all want for Shakur fans and Tank fans? How does this move, how do the business moves of Shakur Stevenson set him up to fight Tank Davis in the future? How is he making moves that lead you to believe that he want any kind of smoke with Tank on top of all the shit I already cooked him on before all of this shit? Really think about it. The change in energy that I've documented for you guys over and over again. Signing with Matchroom. Going on a pay-per-view that we all know is going to flop. Fighting Joe Cordina where it's a no-win situation. How are these things, how are these moves the moves of someone that won't smoke with Tank Davis? It's a legitimate question for y'all. No. These are the moves of someone who is just trying to get their bag. Trying to get bag. And I'm cool if I don't fight Tank. But if I fight him, I'm going to make sure I get as much orange juice out of this orange as possible. I'm going to squeeze this lemon for as much lemonade as I can before I have to go over here. That's what it looked like. Tell me I'm wrong. Smash the like, sub to the channel. We'll see y'all soon. Peace. Gervonta Tank Davis. Let Shakur Stevenson. Devin Haney know y'all ain't built like that, bro.